a Christmas Eve service that we had here in Fort Collins one time. You were probably about 3 years old, and we were singing Away in a Manger, and you had your eyes closed and you were just wailing out the words. It just was precious.
Putting you in the car seat when you were little at our house, and you reached back and you reached your arm out and grabbed my arm and you said, "I love you, Graham." I don't think I'll ever forget that moment when you lost your imaginary snake. And you said you had to find your imaginary snake. And all the farmers of Des Moines seemed to be in the restaurant and were rather scared looking.
Our girl trips that we've been able to take the last couple of years, just spending time with you and going on new adventures. You push me and you challenge me.
At Nana Camp and at Christmas, the girls would make, Elizabeth was a producer, these amazing talent shows, and they would have parts for everybody, and scripts sometimes, and dance moves, and songs, and my favorite one was when they did the Christmas story.
Elizabeth got a drink of icy, a very big icy cup, and she proceeded to drink and fill that cup probably 8, 9, maybe 10 times throughout the whole day. And she was just super obsessive of that drink, and it was so funny. And we got a hilarious picture of her just desperately clinging on to the icy cup for dear life as we went down a roller coaster. She was a straight crackhead that day.
Caleb's graduation trip. And the reason it's my favorite is because Evan started clipping his toenails outside. And Elizabeth looked over and saw this and just burst out laughing.
We went to Disney and Universal together, and she kind of acted as the cool big sister chaperone for being.
When she was in high school, she came and wanted to shop in my fabric, and she found a pretty kind of white gauzy see-through fabric, and she went home and made herself a really cute swimsuit cover, and that was very special to me.
We were at conference, and she just had this like urge and this feeling to just run out into a field and just express like that freedom, and I have that urge all the time too, and so seeing her do that was just so like sweet and just so fulfilling for me to see. And I love that whenever she was running back, she accidentally fell, and we were all just like laughing with her, and she just has such a sweet heart. And she was just saying like how she learned through camp that you just have to laugh at yourself sometimes.
And I went to her Beat to the World event that she had. I think I just learned a lot about her. Those are my favorite memories with Elizabeth, just because I got to know her better.
When we were all sitting together and like sharing what we were going through, getting to like see where she was at and like getting to hear about what goes on in her life honestly blessed me a lot, because it was just, I got to know her in a different way.
Last day of conference during worship before lunch, and we were worshiping the Lord, and we both were sitting on the floor next to each other, just crying out to the Lord and just worshiping him, and we were holding hands and hugging and crying, and it was just the sweetest moment.
She took me to Monette to wash a truck for a work project, and then she locked the keys in the truck, and we had to sit in the back of the truck in the middle of Monette, and we had to wait for Carly to come, and we were just sitting there for a really long time, but it was one of my favorite memories, and it was so fun.
We ate at this pizza restaurant, and her and I were sitting across from each other, and we were just talking about like our passions, why we're going into our career choice, and she was just so sweet and supportive of like me, and I loved getting to hear her why and just hearing how passionate she is about everything she does. She is just so special.
Our annual summer sleepovers, whether it was in one of the sensory rooms or the game room at camp, pushing couches together and trying to whisper and keep a camper asleep and alive for the night, or her getting stranded in Nashville for an extra night and getting to sleep in my tiny apartment with me. So grateful for our annual summer sleepovers and all of our Incredibly sweet conversations during those times. Our annual staff week one summer, and had to survive watching Top Gun together. Couldn't have survived that movie with anybody else. Have still never laughed harder in my life. One of the worst movies I've ever seen, but one of my favorite memories because I got to watch it with you, Elizabeth.
I think at that point, like, I had known Elizabeth, but it was that night that really, like, made me just realize, like, how much I had missed out on thus far, like, not getting to know this girl as much as I could. And, like, that night, like, I was so scared and just so concerned for our camper, but Elizabeth just handled herself, like, with the utmost grace and confidence, and inspired me to work in the same way. And in my time of need, like, she came and took care of me. And
with Elizabeth, we got to go to Sonic and have sushi. We got the same sushi and it was really good. Thanks, Elizabeth. That was such a good sushi. And also, we got to go to IP, and I just felt like that was such a fun time. And this one time, we got to go to a pumpkin farm. Oh, shucks, that was fun.
We also went to, like, this one pumpkin patch, and then we buried Bridget in the corn, and and then a little bit ago, we went to Sonic, like, we went to the Thrift Stores. We went to Sonic, and we got slushies, and we got a pickle Rita.
So my favorite memory about Elizabeth was once we went to a pumpkin patch and she buried me in the sand, not sand, but cone, which I love that. And she was also so nice.
Our effort to keep a family dinner every single week with me, her, and Jackie. So I think that just, like, the consistency of that, I think that we've shared so many, like, joyful moments, but I think what's meant even more was, like, how she was always there for me in those really hard moments. We can only relate on, like, certain things, and she knows what I'm talking about, and we just like to talk about it, and just, like, I feel like when I get in a room with just me and Liz, whenever we can just be like, you know what I mean, like, and just, like, talk to each other about stuff that I feel like only her and I kind of have in common. It's been really just awesome, and I love her to death. Have I said that 5 times throughout this? I don't know.
Joyland, like, one of the last really good Joyland moments we had together, where we were just, like, going on the ride that plays all the music. I can't remember the name of it right now. That's gonna bother me so bad. But whatever, Joyland's closed down now. It's crazy. But just going on that ride and literally just laughing our brains out. Like, I think one of us peed that night. I mean, any time at Joyland has been, like, such a memorable time with her.
We, of course, had to celebrate the end of the school year, and we went to Rusty Taco and got frozen margs, and then after that, we walked over to our favorite Thai place, Ton. I had a to-go box with my Thai food in it, and we were walking back home because the square is really close to our place, and I spilled my Thai food all over the ground on the sidewalk. It was horrible. I had paid so much money for that Thai food. And Elizabeth sat on the ground with me for 10 minutes, and we did not stop laughing. We were laughing so hard we were crying. She took pictures of me, and we were just dead.
And we traveled to New Mexico together, and we were in the car for hours, but it went by so fast because it's so fun. It was so fun. And we just played all these, like, games, get to know each other games, and then we were, like, telling each other, like, the strength we see in each other and our insecurities, and it was such a beautiful moment, like, a bonding moment, and just, like, forever a core memory of mine, because you really get to see, like, the beauty of your heart and your soul, and it was wholesome. It was so amazing.
We were all at the mountain house, and we, Lydia, Aubrey, and I, and Elizabeth all had to share a little cabin, and we just had this girl talk for forever when we'd go out on four-wheelers and we went to that one field and we took pictures in the flowers, and it was just so beautiful.
I wish I could explain how amazing it was to spend that whole day with you in Paris, because not only was it nice to see family, but it was just nice to be with someone who was easy to be around. And that was one of my favorite parts of being in Europe, and it was just cool to have not seen you for so long. And then, of course, we're in Paris of all places when we see each other next. Like that, standing under the Eiffel Tower while it was raining, like, it was a blast.
Sirius Black died. I was in shambles. I was fully in the trenches. I was like, Sirius Black, like, you betrayed me, but then you came back and, you know, I started to trust you again. And, like, you know, Elizabeth, like, she was such a great narrator throughout the whole time. I was crying for like an hour, like almost an hour, like, and like she was just there and she was like, I get it, like, I get it, like, I was there too. And then after that we watched what was it? We watched NSL, and we were watching like Benito and stuff, and like I was dying, and like that was just like made my whole entire night, and it was truly such a beautiful memory.